A common question I get asked all the time is, how come I don't have any weeds on my lawn? And the easy answer to that is to have a good pre-emergent program. When you put down a pre-emergent, you're going to inhibit new weeds from developing on your turf. I personally don't like to use any post-emergence if I can avoid it. And what little post-emergent I use, it's usually in spot applications. It's very rare I'll use a post-emergent. And any existing weeds I have, if I don't use a post-emergent, I try to pull them by hand. Timing is very important. The best time to put down a pre-emergent is in the fall, around the months of September and October, when soil temperatures drop to 70 degrees and again to 55 degrees. And in the spring, when soil temperatures rise to 55 degrees and then again rises up to 70 degrees. This is the best and most accurate way to put out a pre-emergent. You just use a soil thermometer to take your soil temps. If you don't have a soil thermometer, you can use a regular meat thermometer. They go for a few bucks online. And you just stick it down to your turf. When you hit those soil temps, this is when you put out a pre-emergent. If you don't have a soil thermometer or a meat thermometer, you can just use technology to your advantage. Google search soil temps in my area, and from there you'll be able to get a good, accurate number of what your current soil temperatures are. Another way to put out a pre-emergent is usually around the common months, whenever soil temps start to dip. For me in my area, and this is my area alone, the months is usually in the fall around September and October, and in the spring around March and April, sometimes February. It just depends on the season. So this is when I put out my pre-emergents. I usually put out 2 applications. The first one in the fall usually goes around September, and the second application will usually go on around the month of October. In the springtime, my first app will usually go on around February and then again around March. The best way to get rid of weeds is to not have it in the first place, and the pre-emergent is key, guys. You don't have to get fancy with using the pre-emergent. You can use a simple pre-emergent that you can get easily at a big box store. Let's Go 007, Sunnyland 007, Spectracide Weed Stop for Lawns. These 3 products are very easy to get and very easy to put out. You just need a regular turf spreader to spread it out across your turf. As you put out your pre-emergent, you're going to notice year in and year out, the amount of weeds you're going to have on your turf is going to become less and less. A good pre-emergent is one of the best ways and most effective ways to get rid of weeds on your lawn. As with all pre-emergents, a pre-emergent is not 100% at preventing all weeds. You're going to find you're still going to have some breakthrough areas where weeds will show up, and there's some weeds that just cannot be prevented with a pre-emergent. A pre-emergent is only effective about 80 to 85% of the current weed population. I try to pull them when I can, but what weeds I cannot pull, I'll use just 2 ready-to-use products. These come readily available. You can get them anywhere, and one of them I'll use specifically just to kill nutsedge, and the other one is a general product that I'll use for most other weeds that I see on the turf. As with any post-emergent, it's important to read the label, and the label will usually tell you that do not apply a product like this when temperatures are above 85 degrees, otherwise you risk turf damage. So you can see along this area here where I took down this tree, I have a tree stump and there's some weeds growing around it. So the way I manage it is to just come out in the evening time, spray some of these weeds down. And you can see in a few days, the weeds are starting to wilt away. And in about a week to 2 weeks, most of the weeds should be gone. What little weeds are still left, I'll just reapply another round of post-emergent. So a small-scale weed problem like this is very easy to deal with, but a pre-emergent is really going to help you out long-term when it comes to weeds. Again, it's important to note that a pre-emergent is not going to get rid of your weeds. It's just going to prevent new ones from taking place. If you have weeds in your lawn, until you're able to manage control of those weeds, you want to continue to mow and use a bagger. You want to make sure you're bagging up your clippings, at least until the weed population is a little bit more under control. So this is my weed control program, and my weed control program really evolves around using a good pre-emergent and just spot treating weeds when I see them. So be sure to tune to this video right here. It gets into detail and to show you how I managed to reduce my bug population on my turf.